Hey everybody, this video has been mostly voiceoverless because I've been really sick for the past week and a half and I'm not getting better yet, but hopefully I will turn the corner soon. I will try to get through this part without coughing too much. I know I sound bad, but it's okay. I'm fine. I just have, I've got something I'm happy to share, but I also have a little bit of bad news. So firstly, I know this is pretty different from the usual year-end videos that I do, but I thought it would be really fun to do a recap video of kind of everything that I worked on this year. And you can see I've got everybody in the background, and some of them are a little bit more put together than others. But I've made so much progress on getting Tahl ready for casting. And aside from that flaw in the mold, he has just turned out beautifully, and I'm so excited because that means one of the next things that I'm going to be able to share is finishing the casting process for his head. I'm going to be remaking the molds, and I'll be doing a full walkthrough of how I go about doing that because I'm going to make the molds a little bit differently next time to see if I can prevent the issue that happened on the chin. I think that probably had something to do with the silicone I got being partially expired. But I have new silicone and I'm really excited to move forward with it, and I'll be sharing everything, start to finish about getting the head ready for making the mold, pouring the dolls, all that. And I'm so looking forward to sharing that and having the pre-order for the doll open up. So I guess I'll start the next part with the bad news, which is that in the middle of November, I went to see my doctor to talk about some concerning health issues that I had had. Because over the course of this year, back in January, I decided I was going to cut back on what I was doing and not hold myself to such a strict schedule, because I thought that would give me more time and energy to focus on doing things that were a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more ambitious. And to an extent, it did help because I was able to tackle finishing Tahl and learning to do professional quality casts at home. And I've been really excited with how that came together. But instead of making things easier for me, I kind of found myself going downhill. My physical health really deteriorated across the past year. So I went to the doctor, and right now they're not exactly sure what's wrong, but the doctor thinks that there may be something wrong with my heart. It might be COVID related, or it could be a genetic condition. We don't know right now, but she wants me to drastically cut back on the things that I am doing. I am supposed to avoid anything that gives me stress until cardiology can give me some more concrete answers. So I have spent the last month kind of coming to terms with that, because with the amount of rest that the doctor wants me to be getting, I can only really do one thing. I can either choose to continue to write my stories, or I can continue to devote a lot of time to running this YouTube channel. And I've always said that if it came down to a time where I had to pick, I was going to pick my writing. So that's the choice that I am making, and I'm not going to stop making YouTube videos. I'm still going to do them when I can, but it's not going to be on any kind of fixed schedule, and I don't know how often it'll be. In the times where I'm feeling better, I'll probably post more often, maybe, a couple times a month ideally, but if I don't make that, I'm not going to let myself be upset about it. And realistically, it'll probably be closer to once a month or so. I don't know if my updates are still going to be on Saturdays. I may just post them just whenever I finish a project and have it put together enough that I can share it. And one thing I am also going to do is whenever I'm working on a really big project, like putting together Tahl, who's back here in a Pikachu kigurumi, because it's the only thing that I have right now that fits him. It's very funny. Whenever I have a big project like that, I'm going to condense it all into one video and cover as much as possible in one video, because when I was trying to figure out how I could continue to do things for YouTube, I found that it takes me disproportionately more time to edit more shorter videos than to put together one really long video. So when things do go up, you'll probably get, pretty big, pretty substantial updates. I'm still going to be doing a lot of things, with my hobby as a hobby. So I'll probably be sharing more photos and things on the community tab of my channel here, and also on Instagram, because I can give really easy project updates over there. So you'll see like a steady stream of photos coming in as I get things done, and that'll kind of give you an idea of what to expect when those videos do go out. I am going to continue to share patterns and things like that as I get them done, and I will try to do tutorials for all the outfits. I'm not sure if I'll still break it up into separate tutorials for each piece, or if I'll put together like one long tutorial that covers the making of an entire outfit, but I am not going to give up on that just yet. It's just going to be happening more off camera. One thing I had experimented with when I was trying to figure out how to fit everything in was seeing if there would be a different format that would be easier for me to share, because I've always tried to make everything like really clearly pictured for instructional purposes, and I thought maybe if I could figure out how to do something more like vloggy, it might work better. But I kind of learned that vlogging works really well for the stuff that I do that's like writing, and that was what I was using for practice to figure out how to put together like shorter like vlog type videos, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to do vlog style videos for any of my doll projects. So I'm just gonna keep that content, the way I'm gonna do things here the way that I've always done. But I ended up with a handful of vlogs about writing projects while I was practicing this and trying to figure out how to make it work, and it felt kind of wasteful to like have them and then not do anything with them. So I decided that if I ever do like writing type videos, because people have asked me before if I'm gonna do things about like my writing process and the publishing process, and I don't really feel like that has a place here on a doll channel. So I'm going to be posting it on a separate account, a separate channel that is not by any means going to be updated regularly, because I'm gonna make videos, I would rather it be over here. But I'll put a link in the description so you can go and check those out if the writing and publishing is something that you're interested in, and I'll probably share the stuff that I made for practice, and then you might see stuff from me over there a couple of times a year as I have writing projects that I finish. So yeah, it's not a very fun update to have to share, and I really wish that it was different, but the way that things are now, I would much rather slow down and follow my doctor's directions and try to give myself the best chance for recovery from whatever is wrong with me, so that eventually I can go back to operating at full capacity and, maybe someday get back to the weekly videos that I have always enjoyed doing, because my channel's birthday was this week and I've been doing this for 7 years now. So it's a really big thing to, take a step back from after it being such a big part of my life for so long. But I've already been thinking about this for, like a month at this point. So I've kind of come to terms with it. I wouldn't say that I'm happy about it or okay with it, but you know, sometimes we do what we have to do. And between all the things that I do, I think choosing to focus on writing instead of doing like all the manual work of like modifying the dolls and all of the sanding is probably the better choice because it's a lot less physically demanding. But I don't want to end the year on a sad note. So, one thing that I'm really excited to share here is that as I was cleaning things in my studio, I noticed that I actually had quite a few patterns that I have made over the years that for some reason or another I ended up not using in various tutorials here on my channel. And some of them are all new material, and some of them are things that they were released in other sizes so that there are already tutorials for it. It's just, you know, the same pattern in a different size. But ultimately, when I looked over everything, there were 14 patterns. And I've bundled some of them together, and I'm going to release one a day for the next 12 days starting tomorrow. So it's, you know, the 12 days of Christmas, but with sewing patterns. And some of them are really small and simple, but I think all of them will be useful overall. A lot of them are for the Pookie Pookie size, which also works for like the Obitsu 11 and the Nendoroid dolls. And I know those are dolls that are really difficult to find patterns for, so I really hope you enjoy working with those. And then there's a couple for shoes, a couple outfit things for minis, not just minifee, but also like Rillin, who's, you know, he's like a standard 1/4 doll. And then there's one thing for EID as well. So, but I'm looking forward to sharing those, and those are something that I'm going to post each day on the community tab, letting you know what each thing is, and then they're going to go up into my pattern archive where you can download them for your sewing pleasure. At this point, I honestly don't know how many patterns are in my sewing pattern archive, so I think it would be cool to sit down and count at some point and see if I ever did cross that 100 pattern mark. But I am hopeful that I will be able to continue to make things for a long time to come. But I'm not going to pressure myself. I'm not going to set any hard deadlines or anything like that. I'm just going to, you know, do my best to just kind of take it easy and recover while I wait for tests to come in. And really, that's all you can do. So yeah, I'm sorry for making you listen to me while I'm sick and sound like a frog, but for now, I'm going to stop. It's Christmas Eve. I celebrate Christmas with my family, so, you know, from my family, Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate it, then, you know, happy whatever holiday you are enjoying this season. And thank you so much for spending another year with me. And even though I'll be going slower next year, I'm really looking forward to sharing more of my projects with you, just at a little bit more of a sedate pace. I'm gonna keep going for as long as I can, just not in this video because I have a cold and nobody wants to listen to me anymore. So thanks for joining me again, and I'll see you next time.